Hi, welcome back to Antiques and Learning to Live. This is Alex again. And today I wanted to share a recent addition to the clock collection. This is one of the West German Black Forest cuckoo clocks with the Regula movement, Regula. And they made these between the 60s and probably around 1990 or so, anyway, about the time of the fall of the Berlin Wall. The way you can tell they're before the fall, they'll say West Germany, and after, they'll just have Germany, and it'll just say Made in Germany on the dial right there, usually on the post-wall clocks. This is a version probably made in the 80s, I believe between 82 and 88. Not 100% sure, but I feel like that's probably when this one was made. And this one is the feeding bird style. So you got the two birds feeding the two babies in the nest. And this is, I guess, a 6-leaf model. I'm not real familiar with these. But then you have another bird up here at the top. And these are neat because they have little red eyes. I'm sure they're just a little acrylic beads installed, but they look like glass, which is kind of cool. And this one was given to me, so I didn't have to buy it, because I wouldn't have probably purchased one of these for my clock collection. Not my normal style. I usually enjoy stuff more along the lines of American and French stuff, like these mantle clocks like this. But I did want to have one example of a West German cuckoo clock in my collection, because I've worked on so many already. And this one, even being completely taken apart when the person gave it to me, I was able to get it back together in pretty short order and work on the finish of the wood. So it's the original finish, original hands, original dial, everything is factory on it, which isn't all that impressive considering it was made in the 80s, but the materials aren't all that great a quality on these. The wood's a bit soft. The movements are usually made with a couple of plastic pieces that wear out. However, I've yet to see one where they're completely worn out. So I guess they had the right idea when they were making these clocks. So there's a far more complicated ones with dancers and wheels and music boxes. And the more complicated ones usually have 3 weights. So these come in 30-hour and 8-day models. So the way you can tell the difference usually is the 8-day has larger weights, usually much heavier. The 30 hours or 12 ounces or less usually. And so that means once a day you have to get in there and just pull the chains up. It's not a big deal. And the crown detaches on these for transportation. And for this one, I marked on the wall. After I worked on it, I got it in beat with it level, but it still needed a little bit of adjustment. So after I got it lined up perfectly in beat, I put some markers on the wall behind the clock face where you can't see it. And they even made these in the hunter style with rifles and dead rabbits and stuff like that on them. Kind of glad that I didn't get one of those. Not that I have a problem with it, it's just not my style. So, anyway, I guess that covers this. There's so much information on regular Black Forest cuckoo clocks online. There's not much else I can say. We'll just get it going. So one thing I do like about these regular movements, they have a snail cam on the hour wheel. So you set the hour when you first reassemble it, and after that it doesn't matter what you do, it's always going to go back to the right time once it goes to the next trigger for the cuckoo mechanism. Left side has a single bellows with one linkage, and that part of the movement also controls the left bird. On the right side you have another bellows, or bellows box, which has a little whistle. Each one has a different tone. It controls this bird. Also controls when this one comes out. You can see when it tips forward, the mouth opens. And so that one controls 3 things, and this one controls 2 things. And then you have a third, it's just a link for the hammer to strike the gong, and it has a gong on the door, which is where you get your chime sound from. And to reset these, you just pull the chain back up. And I wish you could hear it in beat. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up because there's about 12 clocks running in this room right now. And to give you an idea about the snail cam, watch this. Most clocks, if you do this, they'll be so out of count, it's ridiculous. But once you let it finish the ratchet, it'll go back to 1, and it should count 10 here. So there you go. 30-hour Regula Model 25 Black Forest West German cuckoo clock. You can read up on these. It's kind of a cool history. And these are not really considered fakes because they are German made. They're decent mechanical movements overall. I do like working on them. They're pretty simple. So if you're ever going to start working on a clock, aside from the linkage issue in these, the movements are very easy to work on. So it's a good starter clock. So anyway, as always, this has been Alex with Antiques and Learning to Live. You all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.